Game players, how are you guys doing? I would like to welcome you guys to the Analog Circle Podcast Plus Edition. Yes, it is Plus. And the reason why it is called Plus is because whenever you see this one, see this title, Plus Edition, you'll know that there is someone that's joining me on the show. And this week, man, oh man, we couldn't make it happen the last time, but this time it is officially happening. Guys, I would like to welcome, and hopefully you guys will definitely welcome him, because I know you will, Mr. Mastino Davis. What's going on, brother?
How you doing, Keon?
Man, I'm doing well, man. Listen, I have to make a public apology. I'm really sorry that the last time we tried to record, things did not work out on my side. I'm very sorry for that, man. But, hey, hopefully this show, it'll make up for it, brother.
Oh, it's all good. Technical difficulties happen from time to time. It was fun, though. It was still fun, nonetheless.
Oh, man, well, I'm glad you had a good time, man. Really, really glad about that. But what I wanted to discuss, and this part of the podcast, guys, is basically it's us going over certain topics. So it's not a full show. It's just to concentrate on maybe something that may have happened in the industry. And this past week, my goodness, we had quite a few things that happened. One of those things being that E3 is now open to the public, which is a very big deal. And the other thing, which is also E3 related, is Microsoft. Microsoft has changed their press day to Sunday. So me and Mr. Mastino Davis, we're going to go ahead and talk about this and give our opinions. And hey, hopefully if you guys want to chime in the conversation, you guys can reach the Analog Circle Podcast to voice your opinion at the Analog Circle Podcast at gmail.com, or you can call the show. Feel free to leave a voicemail at 443-261-4607. Now, Mr. Mastino.
Yes, sir.
E3 being open to the public officially for the first time, brother. I mean, this is, now if you're like me, which I'm sure any big hardcore game player has always dreamed of going to E3. I remember when E3 started back in 95, I was looking at a Next Generation magazine. PlayStation 1 was on the front, and they were talking about what they saw. I thought, man, this place is magical. This is like the Walt Disney of gaming. I have to make it there. And so many years you had to be either press or, just some kind of way affiliated with gaming. But finally, them opening the doors to the public. Mastino, how do you feel about this? Me, I'm a little mixed, but I would love to get your opinion on how you feel about the matter.
Well, I was a little disappointed the fact they were only giving out 1,000 early bird specials. Man, that thing sold out at $150 a pop for 3 days of access, and then it jumped to $250. And man, that's a little bit of gouging, I think. For I think they're only allowing like 15,000 in.
Yeah.
I felt like they should have added maybe a third get in at 150, because I mean I got the email and within an hour, I think it was less than an hour, it was sold out, because by the time I saw it and responded to it, I couldn't get it. So I was a little bummed on that, but it's the first year of them doing it, so they're going to work out the kinks and maybe open it up to a bigger audience next year. The thing is, for me, when Comic-Con comes out the next month in San Diego, there's a company called Nerd HQ. Nerd HQ has a deal with Microsoft and Sony. Well, they'll bring early demos out, and you can play them for free. So last year we were playing Halo, we were playing Titanfall 2. You sign up, get an appointment, and you can go and play for free. So you don't even have to be part of Comic-Con in order to go to this thing. So there's some other outlets around the country, I think, that they release some of these games that you get to play at E3. E3 is just where you get to do it first. So for me, $250 without being able to go to the press releases, I don't know. It's a little bit too rich for my blood.
Hey, you know what? I would definitely agree with that. I remember I was listening to, I forgot the name of the podcast, might have been Gamertag Radio, one of those guys, and they were saying that at one time to get into E3, it wasn't officially open to the public, but they said they were selling tickets for $1,000, $1,000 to get in at that time. Now, I don't know what was included in that, but what I'm hearing about this year, and you're right, man, $250, yeah, that's pretty steep. That's a lot of money to ask for. But I'm also hearing that these guys, these men and women or kids who got these tickets, they won't even be able to attend any of the press conferences. That's completely out.
Yeah, it's separate because they're going to do what, Sunday through Tuesday or Wednesday, and then your access is Thursday or Friday through Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
So it's completely a separate deal, and you can live stream all the conferences. So I don't know. I mean, for the hardcore gamer, I completely understand that, hey, $250, for some people it's not a big deal, but you think about $250 and how many games you can purchase with that. That's I don't know. For me, these games are coming out fairly quickly, and there's so much content out there. It's not as big of a deal to me as it is for other people. But I get it for people that are totally into it.
Yeah, definitely. Now, see, that's the other point I wanted to make. At that time, back in like 95 and the early 2000s, we had no real peak inside of E3. It was strictly, you could only read about it in magazines, and this is before the internet really started popping the way that it is now, where all you had was that access to either that EGM magazine or the Next Generation magazine. It had to be something in a publication to get the information, so you never could see the visual side of it. But I gotta tell you, once G4, oh man, I miss G4 like a mother. But once they started actually getting access to these different, to the event itself, E3 itself, I didn't really feel like I was being left out as much. Yeah, it would be great to get hands-on time with some of these games, but from what I hear too, Mastino, when you get to E3, these lines are massive, man. It takes hours to get
for one game. It's worse than Disneyland.
Yeah, man. They said the lines for Zelda alone were like 3 and 4 hours of a wait time to get just a few minutes on hands-on time. I think they said like maybe a 10-15 minute demo. I'm like, man, that's pretty brutal. I know that the idea that many people have, and I had this idea too, it was basically you go inside of E3 and it's a free fall. You just go up to any station you want, play the game you want, jump over to this station, play that one. But after hearing a couple of podcasts with guys that actually have gone and experienced it and have witnessed it, in person, they say it is not even. They said they think that a lot of the public is going to be let down. They're going to be disappointed because it's not what, people perceive it to be. And some of them were a little salty about it, but, we'll see what happens, man. I really think that and let me just say this real quick, Mastino, real quick. Another side of me, and I know some people are not going to believe I'm going to say this, but it's another part of me that wishes that this was not the case, that E3 wasn't open to the public. And I'm going to tell you why. I feel like, man, if, you made it to E3, and of course, this is me perceiving it as it used to be, just such a high benchmark, in gaming. But I felt like if you got invited to E3, that meant that you earned it, man. It meant that, you had the credentials, you put the work in, you were able to get to a certain point, whether it was journalism or, having a successful podcast or, freelance writing or even working for GameStop. I mean, something. You had some kind of credentials to get you in. I feel like paying for it, to me, and to a certain extent, it kind of defeats the purpose. It's like paying for a Super Bowl ring. To me, it's like, you paid to get this thing, in your possession, but you didn't earn it. and maybe I'm in the small minority that feel that way, but I just feel like it takes away some of the magic of what E3 is supposed to be or what it was, I don't know. Am I alone in that, Mastino? I don't know.
I don't feel that way. I mean, basically E3 is just marketing for these massive companies. So if you're a real big fan, let's just use Halo, for example, and Halo 6 was going to be demoed there, and you're a big-time Halo fan, you've played the entire series, that would be a lot to be able to play an alpha version of your favorite series. If you're a professional, you're working in the industry, you're not as excited as a kid that, maybe as a 12-year-old boy that loves video games. And to have that access as a 12-year-old or, whatever age that you're a fan of is huge. In my opinion, if I was that age, and I think about going back to what you're saying when it was released, when it started in the 90s, you got to think about the amount of games being produced then versus what they're being produced now is way different. Yes. And the specialness of seeing Zelda or, whatever released from Nintendo or then Xbox later and PlayStation, these titles were like super, everyone was playing them. Nowadays, you get 3 or 4 releases of indie games per week on the PC. Everyone is scattered now. So to me, the impact of E3 is not as great as it used to be because there's so much content. Like you said, you're going to be waiting in line 3 or 4 hours for maybe a handful of titles because those are all the AAA games that everyone gets their hands on, and everything else that's there is like, whatever. So I don't think it has as big of a meaning for gamers as it once did. I still watch the conferences. I like to see what's coming out. I think Microsoft's move is to really push the Scorpio to highlight that, and they want to get first foot in the door before PlayStation gets to or Sony gets to say anything about what they've got upcoming. So I think it was a good strategic move by Microsoft to get in there first.
Yeah, you know what? Hey, since you brought it up, let's go ahead and just quick. Well, before we switch gears, really quickly. So, Mastino, do you think that E3 is on its last legs right now? Do you think?
No. It's super popular. I mean, the fact they live stream everything and everyone gets to see the press conference, it's a big deal. I mean, video game industry is the biggest entertainment industry in the world, so it's not going anywhere. That's their platform.
Right. See, the reason why I asked that was because now E3, yes, it's a pillar, in the gaming industry. It's something that's been around for many, many years, and people have gotten used to it, seeing it on TV. Shoot, I take off from work like 2 days just to be able to watch it, and stay up late. But some people are speculating that this move to have the people the public come into E3 is to make up for the money that they've lost because so many publishers are actually leaving E3. You have EA that's not going to be there this year. I know Disney, before they completely got dismantled, their gaming side got dismantled. They weren't there. Activision wasn't there. And people who were at E3 last year said that it seemed like not quite a shell of itself, but it was quite a bit missing from the showroom floor, which was leading people to believe that it was a possibility that E3 could be going away, because of those reasons. I mean, the other point that was brought out as well was, these different companies, they can have their own events at the drop of a dime. You have Sony that has their PlayStation Experience every year, which is somewhat like an E3 conference. I mean, but it's for the quote-unquote players, as Sony says. It's for the players, which is cool because they invite their fan base out, which I guess they're making good on that. And they're able to see some of these games that are being released. Like, who would have thought that The Last of Us 2 would have been shown at that event and not E3?
Yeah.
So it's like, because of those things, I'm just wondering, is it possible that, this could be, maybe not this year. Of course, it's not going to dismantle in like the next 2 years or so. But I was thinking maybe this could be the start of this, event that I've held near and dear to my heart, man, for many years, that it may possibly be on its last legs because so many of the third parties can really do their own events. I mean, you have, what was it, Call of Duty has their own event, and various
BlizzCon?
Yeah, BlizzCon. Yeah, you know. Oh, go ahead, Mastino. Go ahead, man.
Well, you may be onto something. I just think they, you know, like all industries, they usually have one central conference, and then will have their own. I mean, but maybe you're right. Maybe they find that the PlayStation experience, Microsoft may start traveling city to city and setting up something just for their marketing. That may be more effective. I don't know. But it just seems like they would keep the conference. Maybe they just scale it down. But then again, you know, I think Sony and Microsoft kind of screwed over the customer for the release cycle of these consoles.
Woo,
you know,
I agree.
And I think that may have some impact on this of, you know, oh, great, I got a 3-year-old console that's now going to be outdated with the PlayStation Pro and then Scorpio coming out later this year. You know, I'm sure there's a lot of people that are not real happy with Microsoft and Sony for doing that so soon.
Yeah, I am far from happy about that situation. I will be completely honest and say that I'm not a fan. I'm used to a console lasting a certain amount of years, and hey, maybe that's, you know, the old school gamer in me talking, but, you know, I don't think that was a really popular move. Some people might have liked it. I disagree, but, you know, we'll see how it goes. You know, these the companies, Microsoft and Sony, they never really release numbers too much, especially Microsoft. They're like silent when it comes to the numbers. So it's really no telling what the PlayStation Pro is selling, but I can't imagine it selling, you know, at a huge clip like the PlayStation 4 Slim has been, you know, but I guess we'll see, man. I mean, you know, E3 is coming up very soon. You know, Microsoft has a big announcement coming out this year, which is, I mean, hey, man, let's just switch gears real quick. You know, Microsoft, man, Sunday, not Monday, which we're used to seeing Microsoft be out there at, 9 a.m. in the morning, Pacific time, and what's that, like 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock here on the Eastern, you know, side. To see them, well, to have heard them actually switch days, you know, switch from Monday to Sunday, which is going to be 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and 2 p.m. Pacific Time. Man, yep. I'm all jumbled up here. But to hear that they're making this move, I think it's a really good move, Mastino, because we see that, you know, Microsoft goes on, you know, bright and early that day, that Monday, things are going good. They can make some great announcements. But by that night, Sony hits the stage. And I must say, man, God, dog, Sony has really delivered an amazing E3 for 3 years in a row. They've had really good E3s, at least two of those years. They were super solid. So it's like everything that Microsoft did during the day is, I mean, not erased, but they take away a lot of their shine at night, because it's a good strategic move for Sony too, because they're actually the last conference. And usually after the last conference, what do? You go to bed, you know, so It's like on your mind the rest of the night into the morning. And what Microsoft possibly could have done, the impact that they could have possibly had for that day, is somewhat washed out to a certain extent. So I think that them actually doing this on Sunday, knowing that Sony is more than likely still going to stick with that Monday, they literally have that whole day to themselves. And I understand Bethesda's doing something that day and EA as well, but Microsoft's talking about a new console. So that's off the top going to be like the headline for the day. So I think that by them doing this, they put themselves in a really good position to at least, I mean, at bare minimum, be the talk for that full day, you know, of gaming news. I don't know. How do you feel about it, Mastino?
Well, the cat's out of the bag. We know what Scorpio's numbers are. I mean, what they're going to do is surprise us with some of the features, I guess it can do. I mean, it's going to do 4K. We know that. It's more powerful than Pro. We know that. So I'm kind of curious if they're going to bring out some kind of Oculus Rift merger that they're going to showcase some VR. But like you said, PlayStation has outshined them the last couple of years. The game releases of exclusives, Sony's way stronger. So I'm kind of curious to see what Microsoft's got up their sleeve. I mean, the only thing I could think of that Phil Spencer mentioned last year was the release of like a keyboard mouse setup that you could do on your Xbox. And for a lot of people, it's like, who cares?
Right.
So that's why we got controllers. So, I'm kind of curious to see what they're going to do, because it's not as though it's going to be some big surprise. We know it's a big console event release, but yeah, we'll see. See what they got.
I'm only laughing, man, because Mastino, could you imagine, brother, that Microsoft, Phil Spencer gets up there, he's so excited and says, guys, I want to present to you mouse and keyboard support. I mean, what the world? What would the reaction be, man? People might just get up and walk out, brother.
Well, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. They're merging the PC and the Xbox One with the share anywhere mentality. They did it just with this week's release of Halo 2, Halo Wars 2. Which doesn't work, by the way. At least mine didn't. I couldn't play with my PC with the Xbox. I was a little ticked. But yeah, they got to get their stuff together, bro. I mean, the thing that's irritating is this generation has just been a terrible player experience. When you download the game and you're able to play it 4 days early, and you get on at 9 p.m. to be told, oh, you got another 2 gig download that we couldn't push early.
Oh my God.
I mean, the experience is just terrible. Now, the game's played pretty good. It's locked up on me and my brother and my friend. So it's still got bugs on a release on the, one of the, top premier echelon games that Microsoft's pushing. I mean, Halo is their title.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, man. I'm an Xbox fanboy, but geez, it's disappointing, man.
Yeah, I agree. It's I will say that this was the thing that got me, Mastino, with Microsoft at the beginning of this generation. They were showing such promise, and I understand that out the gate they stumbled, and it really hurt them. Don Matrick with his shenanigans, it did not make the Xbox brand look the best, and I understand that. But I was looking at it for the overall picture, and they had games. They had exclusives, Mastino. They had Rise, Son of Rome, which I thought was a pretty good game. No, it wasn't like amazing, but I thought it was solid. I really enjoyed it. They had Sunset Overdrive. That was another great game that I enjoyed. Ori and the Blind Forest. I mean, of course, that wasn't launched, came out a little later, but they had Dead Rising 3. I'm like, man, they have exclusives. They're really doing their thing. And then all of a sudden, here we are in, what's this, year 4, Mastino, we're in with these consoles?
Yeah, it came out in 2013, yeah.
Yeah, so year 4, man, and Microsoft has canceled Fable Legends. They just canceled, what was the other one? The Dragon game. I keep forgetting the name of that game. But yeah, that got canceled. And everybody's wondering, well, what do they have? I understand State of Decay.
Scalebound.
Yeah, Scalebound. There you go.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mastino. Yeah, Scalebound, that got canceled. And, people are like, well, they still got State of Decay. I'm like, man, I don't play State of Decay. That's not my take. I understand there's a lot of people that enjoy it, and, kudos to those people. I'm glad it's coming out and you guys will enjoy it. But for me, I'm not seeing anything that's really grabbing my attention. And there's one other thing that I want to say too. I don't know if you heard this, Mastino, but this could have been taken out of context, you know how people do. But Phil Spencer, he actually, during the Halo Wars 2 event, they were live streaming, and it was him and Larry Herb. And Larry Herb was actually interviewing Phil, and he was asking him, you know, well, how important is the PC, you know, to you guys at Xbox? And I'm like, man, don't you know? But, you know, that's his job. You know, Larry got to interview him. So he said, well, I think, you know, it's very important to us. It's, you know, we're taking it very seriously. And, you know, just a regular, you know, spiel, just a regular talk. But he said something that was interesting, where he said that they'll be releasing some games on the PC and they'll be releasing some games on the Xbox. So some people were speculating that could that mean that Microsoft may be, and of course this is all speculation, things get taken out of context all the time, but they were speculating, could Microsoft possibly be maybe backing away from the PC market a little bit, because everybody says the same thing. And I'm sure you've heard it, Mastino. Well, hey, it's no longer any Xbox exclusives. What do I need a PC for? You know, if it's on the Xbox, it's on the PC. So, you know, that's what I prefer to get. I'll get it on the PC. There's no need for the Xbox. Now, my question to you, Mastino, being a PC gamer as well, do you think that move has possibly hurt Microsoft from having other people wanting, or at least having a reason to buy the Xbox One itself?
Yeah, yes and no. I don't care for the Microsoft Store and how they release their games. With the Share Anywhere, I've used it. I use it with Gears of War 4. I think what's going to happen, my guess is, Scorpio will come out with mouse and keyboard support, and they're trying to do away with the PC side of things. What I don't like is for guys, I'm in the minority. I got a triple screen setup on my PC. Ooh. I can't run 3 screens with anything that's Microsoft shared.
Oh, really?
I think does Gears do it? Gears may. I might be able to do it with Gears, but like Halo Wars, you can't go 3 screens. So I don't know. It's like I'd rather get my games off of Steam, and the sales they have for PC. There's a lot of PC players that are not happy with Microsoft and the Microsoft Store. So I could the Play Anywhere thing, because Xbox is already on Windows 10. It's probably not going to go anywhere. Go away, I should say, but we'll have to see at E3 what they're gonna do, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, hey man, I guess all of these things, they'll be answered in the next few short months, man. I guess we'll have to do a follow-up and, you know, pick back up where we leave off, man. But I guess if it's okay with you, Mastino, do you want to just wrap it here, man?
That's fine.
All right. Hey, man, let me tell you, thank you, Mastino, so much for being on the show. I truly appreciate it. And guys, if any of you guys out there would also want to be on the show on the Analog Circle Plus Edition, shout out to Mastino for that. If you guys would be interested, all you got to do is either email the show, or call the show and say you want to be on. This is something that I definitely want to do, to give the community, a platform, and to, talk about anything that's gaming related, man. So you can feel free. But also, I have to thank you as well, Mastino, for also donating 2 games to the podcast, 2 PC games to the podcast as well, man. Thank you so much for that.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah, definitely. And guys, on the regular show, I'll definitely have another Name That Game challenge, and hopefully one of you PC listeners out there will have a chance of winning. What was it again, Mastino? I forgot. I know that one of them was Tales of Vesperia, I believe.
So 1 second, I'll tell you.
Okay.
You got Tales of Zestiria.
Oh, Zestiria.
And then Naruto Shippuden Ultimate Ninja Storm 3.
There you go. So
hopefully I didn't butcher it too bad.
Nah, man, you're good, man. But definitely be on the lookout, guys. If you're interested in that, on the next show, the regular Analog Circle, it'll be a Name That Game challenge, and you guys can definitely have a chance at winning one of those titles. So with that, Mastino, thank you again, brother. Are there any shout-outs that you would like to give, man, before we sign off?
Chad Harper, Chris Hornaday, Brian Berg. What's up, guys?
Absolutely. Yeah, shout out to you guys for keeping the Facebook group going. I'm not always up to par. I definitely admit that 100%, but truly thank you guys out there for always keeping the group going and thriving. And if any of you listeners out there would like to join the group, just look on Facebook. It's called the Analog Circle. So with that being said, guys, I guess we'll wrap it up here. And until next time, man, you guys take care, keep gaming, and don't get caught up into the console war. Just play the games, brother. That's what it's about, man. So with that, we're out, guys.
Everybody's got a boss. Sometimes I'm in my boss's meeting. Today, I'm sitting there playing Fallout Shelter, and then when I go home, I log into my console. There's, I'm playing. It's not like I got to start out. I have another game I'm playing a lot, Astroneer, kind of the same thing. I can move back and forth. So the fact that I'm making progress, everything counts. Whenever I play, I'm moving my gameplay forward. I think, everybody should support XBA. That's what I think.
I mean, to your point, I think it's pretty obvious, this next question I have for you, which is how important is the Xbox? How committed is Xbox to PC gaming? And I think it's pretty obvious.
Yeah, but I want to be fair, because I know a lot of people looked at our early PC launches and they said, hey, this doesn't really feel like a PC game.
Right.
And we know today's games will take 2-3 years to actually go build a good game. I look at Halo Wars 2, I think it's a good PC game, but let's be honest, it was a genre that started on PC and RTS, that we on Halo Wars 1, we took it over to console. Now with Halo Wars 2, we're shipping on both platforms, and people will see that. It's like, is this a console RTS, a PC RTS? And we're going to say yes. But I'll say in the long run, Windows is incredibly important to Microsoft,
Right.
And gaming is one of the most vibrant activities that happens on the Windows platform. And the Xbox team now runs gaming for Microsoft.
Right.
Gaming on PC is something that we're committed to. We're going to have more things to talk about. We're going to have games that only ship on PC. We're going to have games that only ship on console. And PC gaming is critically important to the company. From Satya on down, the company believes that.
Now,